What's up, Next Gen Steelers, and welcome to my channel where we talk all things football and all things Steelers, from a young fan for young fans. Now, that game was way too close for comfort, and I am too young to be having heart attacks. There were some things to like, and plenty of things that definitely need to be fixed before we play the Seahawks. Let's get into it. The first thing that the Steelers did really well in that Jets game was the opening drive, which, by the way, was the first opening drive touchdown scored with Arthur Smith as the Steelers' offensive coordinator. On the other hand, the offensive line, especially Broderick Jones, needs to improve. Jones allowed 3 sacks and 4 quarterback pressures. And for a guy as old as Rodgers, a sack could easily mean a season-ending injury. So Rodgers needs an offensive line he can trust. Another thing that the Steelers did well was consistent quarterback play, which we haven't seen since Big Ben, honestly. Aaron Rodgers threw for 244 yards and 4 touchdowns and averaged 8.1 yards per throw. So hopefully he can keep that up the rest of the season. Another thing that needs fixed before the Seahawks game, Jaylen Warren had only 11 carries. He averaged 3.4 yards on those carries, totaling 37 rushing yards total. But, on the other hand, Kenneth Gainwell had 7 carries for 19 yards, averaging 2.7 yards per carry. So, Warren can rip off chunk runs, and those 7 carries that went to Gainwell didn't go much of anywhere. So, if those carries had been with Warren, who knows what Warren could have done with those carries. Another positive thing was DK Metcalf and Calvin Austin, an underrated duo, combining for 8 catches and 153 yards and a touchdown between the two of them. So while we probably would have expected a little bit more, it is a good sign for the rest of the season that this duo complements each other and can work well together. Negative was Jonnu Smith's 5 catches for 15 yards. For a guy who caught 55 first down passes last year, that's not okay. But just to make it clear, not all of that was his fault because the coaching staff gave him most of his targets behind the line of scrimmage. And while he is known for yak, that's not the only thing he's good at. So next week we need to see more targets for him downfield. Positive would be Jalen Ramsey coming through on 2 key plays. One was the 2-point conversion where Fields lobbed it up to the back corner and he was one of 3 Steelers there to bat the ball down. And the second would be that 4th and 3 pass where he just drilled Garrett Wilson and sealed the game for the Steelers. Negative was the run defense. On the first play, we allowed Breece Hall to pick up 18 yards, and that's not okay, especially when you used most of your draft picks to reinforce your run defense. Also, Terrell Austin's coaching strategy against the running game was awful, and guess what? It was the same one that he used in the Ravens game last year when we allowed 299 rushing yards to Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. And it just doesn't work. So he just needs to stop doing it or be fired, in my opinion. But no one's going to listen to me. Here's the strategy in a nutshell. So basically, Terrell Austin wants to send Alex Highsmith and TJ Watt in around the offensive line to catch running backs from behind. But when you're playing a mobile quarterback, that quarterback can just fake a handoff and then pull out to the side while TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith crash in on an empty-handed running back. Let's end on a positive note with the special teams. Poor Chris Boswell. We keep putting him in these high-pressure situations and he constantly delivers. Great job by him with the 60-yard field goal. By the way, that is a franchise record. Also, great job by the special teams at recovering that fumble. Without that play, it's very unlikely that the Steelers would have been able to pull it through. Shout out to @Miguel Angel Miquito Quiroz. He predicted a 17-14 win for the Steelers. There was way more points on the board than that, but he thought we were going to win, I thought we were going to win, and we did win. I'm looking forward to seeing more predictions in the future. Until then, here we go Steelers, and I will see you next week.